SEBI, and NISM are officially on the hunt for India's sharpest minds in the National Financial Literacy Quiz 2026. Whether you are a UG or PG student, this is your arena. Phase 1 is the college round. Crush the college round and you move to the regional round. And finally, we'll fly to the grand finale at the NISM campus. The college round is live right now. Scan the code. SEBI.
So this was about the National Financial Literacy Quiz, a joint initiative of NISM and SEBI. So for more info, you can visit our website nflq.nism.ec.in. So hello and good evening everyone. I am Mansi Ghanekar, working in the Investor Education Department of NISM. NISM is the capacity building initiative of SEBI. We at NISM conduct a wide range of activities at various levels with the objective of improving quality standards in the securities markets. At NISM, we work in 5 broad areas: long and short term academic programs, certifications for market intermediaries, e learning programs, training programs for working professionals and academia, and various investor education initiatives. We introduced a series on proper financial planning to ensure goal fulfillment, comprising 4 episodes scheduled in March 2026. The previous episode focused on the topic planning and sequencing lifestyle goals. Today, we present the fourth, that is the last episode of the series, on the topic retirement, an underestimated goal, planning ahead for a comfortable retired life, by Suresh Sadgopan. Mr. Suresh Sadgopan is the Managing Director and Principal Officer of Ladder 7 Wealth Planners Private Limited, a SEBI registered fee only financial advisory firm in India. Ladder 7 is known for its expertise in financial planning and advisory services for over 2 decades. He holds an MMS and certifications like CFP, CTE PTM, and RLP. He is a frequent speaker and writer on financial planning and personal finance. Mr. Suresh founded the Financial Planners Guild India, where he serves as a president. He is also a founding member of the Association of Registered Investment Advisors. So I would request Suresh sir to begin with the session. Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Mansi, for this wonderful introduction. Uh, Today is the last one in the series are you able to hear me, Mansi?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So this is going to be the last one in the series of regarding financial planning. So let me get into the session itself. I mean, there are quite a few things, a lot of discussion. This is a very, very important topic, and I hope this will be very useful for the people here in the audience. Let me get into 1 second now. Yeah, here we are. Uh, the problem today with a lot of people, not just in India, worldwide, is that retirement is not taken very seriously. A lot of people who are young, they don't, in fact, retirement is not on the radar at all. For a lot of people, it comes into the radar only in the early 40s, and for some people, late 40s or early 50s. By that time, they have provided or they have spent money on multiple goals, and the retirement corpus is not exactly built. And the onus of building a retirement corpus actually falls on them when they are in their late 40s or early 50s. This is the story worldwide. Okay. If you actually look at certain other countries like US and all that, you will see people who are 70 years, 75 years, or even beyond that, say 80 years, who are actually working. I mean, I know anecdotal cases of such things happening. So it's a worldwide problem, it's a serious problem, and compounding with that is the fact that people are living for much, much longer. Once upon a time, people used to retire at 50, 58 or 60, and they used to live for 5, 10, maybe 15 years. And whatever corpus they are having, it should be okay for that short period of time. But today, people are living for maybe 3 decades or longer. So we will have to really take it very, very seriously, because apart from every other goal that may or may not come to us or may not be important, like let us say you can do without a house, but you cannot have a situation where you cannot plan for retirement, because retirement eventually comes. If we survive till the retirement age, you have to look at retirement and funding for retirement. So this is what I had mentioned, 3 decades or more, fairly long duration. In fact, if we look at the phases in life, say the student life is maybe about roughly 18-20 years. Um, we are looking at a working life of maybe 35 years or even 40 years. So now the third phase of life is almost equivalent to the working life phase. So it's becoming like that. And if we really look at people who want to retire early, and somebody who wants to retire at 45 or 50, then the retirement years will be far more higher than the working age. Like suppose somebody is retiring at 40 or 45, their working age may be only 25 or 30 years, whereas the retirement years may be 45 to 50 years. So we are talking about a very long duration. Without proper planning, without thinking about this right in the beginning, and without putting in enough money for this particular goal, it is not going to work well. So these are some findings of one of the retirement readiness report. Only 37% have a plan to address retirement, which is alarming. 42% expect the family support in retirement. See, once upon a time, um, I mean, the family was fully expected to support, and it was expected, and it used to happen. I don't know today with nuclear families whether these things are going to happen or not. Probably will happen. But I mean, being in a position where you have to take family support is not really one of the greatest things. It is far better to actually provide for oneself. But here, look at the situation here. 42% today are still expecting family support, and 46%, because they have not done enough about retirement, they are anxious about this stage of life called retirement. So it's not a very nice place where we are in as we stand today. And that is precisely why we need to address this. And this session is all about that. Uh, Once upon a time, people used to think that children is our retirement plan. So now the fact is that children is not retire is cannot be a retirement plan. The world has changed. The situation in India itself has changed. We are in nuclear families. It's very complex today. I mean, people have their own battles to fight and defend for. So you really cannot ideally, I mean, look at your children for your retirement planning. So that particular thought itself is a fallacy today. God will take care. This is something I mean, this is amazing actually. God will take care is an approach which people say. It is, don't worry, yaar. I mean, God will always have a plan. You don't have to worry. Okay. So this is not a way to plan for retirement. This is just hoping and not really planning. Without a plan, our parents got by. So why can't we get by like that? Okay, so again, if anybody is in these any of these three stages, then basically we are not really in the planning mode. We are in the mode whereby we are not taking it seriously, and we are giving excuses for not planning. So we have talked about that. I mean, we can just have a quick poll, and then we can go ahead. Sahil, if you can please run the poll.
Yes, sir, doing it. Done.
Yeah. We are going to cover this slightly later, but I thought I will understand what is on your mind at this point. I mean, we are going to cover exactly the same thing going forward.
So, sir, I'm sharing the results.
Sure.
Yes, done.
Done? Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to start the investments from day one. So I'll tell you what really happens today. When somebody starts earning, they have a zillion goals which come in the radar. So it may be changing the mobile, it may be buying a bike, or it may be gifting the children, gifting the parents and their siblings. There can be many goals, and all of which there is nothing wrong with any of those goals. Okay. The only thing is, normally what we as financial advisors say is, I mean, you indulge yourself in everything, whatever you want. The first rule is, first save for that and then spend. And second rule is, even whatever you are earning, out of that 10% you can always put aside. Even if you are earning as low as say 25,000, you can always put aside 2,500. It is a safe habit and practice which we should start from day one. So investments for retirement has to be done from day one, and I'm going to show you some charts regarding that, some figures, facts and figures regarding that, which will corroborate why I'm saying this particular thing. We have to start from day one. Starting at 40 or 45 or 50, the amount of money that you will have to put in will be huge. And if you have not done anything and you don't have a base at all, and you have spent on other goals like children's education, which is important, buying a home, which is also important, but the point is, we cannot ignore retirement planning because that is also important. So you will have to really start from day one. So one quick figure, I will be coming to this figure later on. Suppose somebody is spending, let us say 1 lakh rupees. Okay, today I'm just giving random numbers. So if we go, let us say 10 years, 20 years, or even 30 years. Let me take 30 years. Somebody who is 30 at 60. At 60, the same 1 lakh rupees will be something like almost 8 lakh rupees. So that will be the effect of inflation. So you can think about 1 lakh being 8 lakh, 8 12 are 96, almost 1 crore is what we'll be spending in a year. And if you are having 30 years, you can think of what kind of corpus you will really require. So the numbers are huge. It is not today's number. 1 crore number which I'm talking, which you are going to spend as expenses, is not today's number. It is a future number. All said and done, even that number is a high number, and we need to be very careful about it. This is also another thing which keeps happening. So people sometimes do put money for retirement, but they put their hand into that cookie jar, which is the retirement corpus, and they spend on something as frivolous as, let us say, the children's birthday. It can be a trip to some place which they wanted to go. It can be anything, and so for anything they dip into the retirement kitty, and that's one of the mistakes which people do today. So it should not ideally be touched. So there are just a few levers which we can control. Some of them, I'm going to talk about some of them. Just 1 minute, please. Yeah. One of the most important things is understanding how much do you require. Today, this is not really very difficult actually. Today, there are so many calculators. If you put in how much you have today, how much you are willing to save on a regular basis, how many years to retirement, and what is the return you're expecting. Broadly speaking, you will be able to achieve what is the and your expenses. So you'll be able to calculate. Calculators are available in plenty. So at least get a feel of what is that you really are spending, what is the corpus you have to have when you retire. It can be an early retirement or it can be at 58 or 60. That is something that you will have to do. Starting savings early is probably one of the best ways one can address this particular thing. The amounts that is required when you start early will be in thousands. The amounts which you will require when you start much later in 40s or 50s will be in lakhs per month. So it is a good idea. You will have to make the compounding work for you. The best way of starting this thing, this may sound to be very basic, but the basics are and the simple things are the most difficult to understand and implement. So this is what we have typically seen. What other thing we can do, again, as a financial advisor, we talk about controllables and non-controllables. Expenses and goals are something that we can really control. Okay, so it is in our hands. A lot of people say that income I can control. You tell me how much I have to earn. I mean, while it is easy for somebody to say that I will earn whatever you want me to, so that I can keep my expenses at this particular level. But if the question to ask is, if it is so easy, how come you are not earning that higher income, which we are going to tell you, and how come you are not earning that? So it is very easy to talk glibly about these kind of things, but it is very difficult to suddenly increase the income like that. So the thing really to focus on is on expenses and goals. So these are something that we can control. The typical saying is you have to cut the coat according to the cloth. So that is one of the things that we'll have to uh, incorporate in the way we go about it. I would not call it being frugal. I would say that you have to be mindful and spend according to the income and according to the goals that you have. And if you are going to keep an eye on the expenses and goals, obviously the amount of savings is going to be higher because you have already kind of put a lid on expenses and goals. It will ensure that the savings that you can cover, the number of days you can cover will be much more. I'm going to illustrate that with an example. One has to have a proper financial plan, ideally speaking, because in the course of life, there are going to be multiple goals, there are going to be contingencies, there are going to be whipsaw moments, volatility during one's lifetime. A proper financial plan where everything is mapped out, where there are contingencies, liquidity, emergency provision is absolutely necessary so that retirement along with the other things can be achieved. Now I'm going to give an example. So let us take the case of Ram, who is earning 1 lakh, spending 60, saving 40. This means that roughly he's spending about 2000 rupees a day. And what he is saving, that is 40,000 he is saving, is equivalent of 20 days of expenses. He is saving 20 days of expenses. So this is another way of looking at this whole thing. Instead of saying I'm saving 40,000, we are talking in terms of how many days of expenses he is actually saving. Now take the case of Bhushan. He's earning 1.5, spending 1.1 lakh and saving 50,000. Okay, that means his spend per day is higher at 3333 and he is saving the equivalent of 15 days of expenses. Now, actually, in rupee terms, he is saving more, which is 50,000, but the number of days of expenses he is able to cover is only 15 days. So if you were to look at Ram, he will be able to do the retirement funding much better as compared to Bhushan, even though he is saving a higher amount in rupee terms. Okay, so this is something that this is another way of looking at it, and that is why keeping an eye on expenses is also very, very important. Effect of inflation is typically ignored. People don't understand how much expenses today can be in 10, 20, 15 years. I'm going to show you that. Inflation is going to be ever present. It is not going to be there only till we retire. It is going to be ever present. So let us look at this particular chart. So now if you look at this chart, uh, let us assume this is the expense, 70,000 per month, 1 lakh per month, and 1.3 lakhs per month. So these are the figures, these are the annual figures. So if it is 70,000 per month, it is 8.4 lakhs, 12 lakhs if it is 1 lakh per month, and so on. So now look at this figure, 1 lakh figure. This 12 lakh figure balloons to something like 91 lakhs, assuming inflation of 7%. Okay, so it's huge. I mean, something like about 8 times, roughly 8 times is the figure it is showing. So your expenses are going to balloon, and assuming at that time you are today you are 30, and I am assuming a 25-year survival period. The corpus required at that particular time. Just see this. If you are spending the equivalent of 1 lakh today, and your expenses in the first year of retirement is going to be 91 lakhs, you require a corpus of 20 crores. It looks stupendous. I mean, this 20 crore is the corpus required 30 years hence. So that I admit. But all said and done, the values are extremely high. So here also we are showing this here. This is showing the expenses today after 10 years, after 20 years, 30 years. So this is today, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. All right. So, I mean, we need to be very, very careful about these things. So take this case. Today it is 12 lakhs. So I'm talking about this particular thing. 12 lakhs. 12 lakhs will become double after 10 years. 12 lakhs will become almost 4 times after 20 years, and 12 lakhs will become almost 8 times in 30 years. In the same thing in graphical form, I have kind of shown this. Now, regular monthly and annual expenses are definitely going to be there in retirement. That is definitely there. A lot of people tend to miss that even in the retirement phase, there are going to be certain goals. So what are the goals? The typical goal one is travel. So a lot of people in their working life, for various reasons, they have not been able to indulge themselves in the amount of travel that they actually wanted to do. Okay, so now typically after retirement, people want to travel for a few years at least. They want to travel within the country, outside the country. So that is one typical goal. There could be other goals, like some of them really want to leave a legacy. So a lot of people, when we talk about retirement planning, this is one of the goals that definitely comes as one of the goals. They want to leave something for their son and daughter, and they also want to gift in between, maybe their son and daughter, or maybe their children. So this is also something that we have seen. And some people also have philanthropic intention, so they want to do something in their village. They want to donate something to charity and things like that. So people have those kind of things also, which for a lot of them is actually a goal. Okay, so in some cases, this also happens. Some cases, beyond retirement, certain typical goals which normally happen when people are earning also does come up. We have some clients who are in that phase. They have a late child, and their children's education itself will flow into the retirement phase. So some people have the typical goals which also come into the retirement phase: children's education, marriage, and sometimes they may want to buy a house also in retirement in the place of their choice. So sometimes those goals are also going to be there. One of the things which we will have to keep in mind is, of course, medical requirement. We definitely suggest a proper medical insurance which will take care of hospitalization. So that is, of course, the basic. But over and above that, there are situations where there could be situations where medical insurance may not necessarily cover. So there can be situations we have seen even in our clients' cases where there is nursing support which is required, 24/7 nursing support which is required. That will not be covered in many policies. So you will have to be prepared for that kind of a thing. It does not happen in every case. I do understand and appreciate, but it can happen in some of the cases, and wherever it happens, it can take a lot of money. And having a contingency provision is also a good idea, because what kind of contingencies we may come up in the retirement phase is not really known. Apart from medical contingencies, it can be contingencies in terms of children or grandchildren requiring some money. We have seen those kind of situations also, where the parents are helping the children in terms of, let us say, buying up a property. They give some amount of money as an upfront money to for the children in terms of funding the upfront payment. So these kind of things are there. So sometimes one will know that one will have to provide for that, and we will provide. In some situations, we may not know also. So contingencies provision can also arise by way of not necessarily goals, by way of some expenses which have not been anticipated, or some goals which come suddenly out of the blue. Expenses which we have not anticipated can be like, we had one client where he was having a home, but there was seepage in the property and he was not aware about that. And when he took an estimate, initially he thought it'll be some 3, 4, 5 lakhs, but actually it went all the way to some 20 lakhs plus. So it's a contingency. He was not aware about that, but a contingency provision did help in that particular case. Living long poses its own set of problems. Once retired, it is very, very difficult to get employment. Today, people are living till 85, 90, and some people well into their 90s, and some people are even hitting the century. So, living too long is not something hypothetical which will happen to other people. In fact, it has a potential to happen to many of us here. So, we will have to ensure that we have a corpus when we retire, which can run for the entire lifetime without depending on anybody. So, I mean, it is very, very obvious that at 65 or 70 or 75, if you find that the corpus may not be enough, you cannot really get back into employment unless you are a doctor, lawyer, any of the professionals probably can get employment. Otherwise, people who are in service, it's going to be very, very difficult to get back into employment. Corpus need to be managed well. I mean, I cannot overemphasize this. This is absolutely necessary. One of the ways of managing the corpus is investing appropriately. A lot of people are under this mistaken impression that if it is a retirement corpus, it has to be only in fixed income assets where there is no volatility and the risk is low. For most people who are in the retirement phase, they have a certain limited corpus. When I say limited corpus, it can be a 3 crore, 4 crore corpus also, which on the face of it may be a good corpus. But again, if we are talking about 30, 35 years into retirement and it has to last for the entire 30, 35 years, we really cannot have our investments only in fixed income securities, because fixed income securities hardly can beat inflation. So a portion of it has to be judiciously invested in growth assets, the primary growth asset being equity. You have to take some level of risk after protecting the basis. So we will have to definitely do that. So corpus has to be managed well. I mean, that is definitely required. One of the things which we are finding these days is that people want to retire early. People want to, I mean, spend time on things which they feel, I mean, will make their life look better. But the point is, one needs to be clear as to why one wants to retire early. So this is very important. Um, I mean, what the question to ask is, suppose I am willing to work till 45. The question we ask people is 20 to 45, are you willing to work in something which does not really interest you at all? And after 45, suddenly you will be doing something which will be hugely interesting for you. So how come you are willing to spend a quarter of a century in something which will be, according to you, a waste of time? How come? So, and the other question which we ask is, if that is the case, why can't you bring in those elements or aspects which can actually add meaning to your life, so that the current 25 years will not be a drudgery for you? So we will have to ask these fundamental questions, because suddenly at 45, life is not going to become rosy uh, if you have not been able to manage that in the first 45 years. Um, yeah, that is exactly what I have mentioned here. Retiring early also means that you will have to provide for yourself earlier. Like suppose somebody is retiring at, for example, 40. So which means that most of the goals which people will do before 60, let us say children's education, college education, buying up a house and paying off the loan, things like that. So those things are going to be, in their particular case, beyond 40, many of them. So if that is going to be the case, then how are you going to really fund? So which means that at 40, you have to have paid off all the loans. You should have provision for all the children's education. And you also need to have provision for the next 40, 50 years, because that is your survival period in retirement. So this is actually very difficult, and people will have to really think about this. So what do people do to achieve financial independence retirement early? So that is a concept called FIRE. So if they really want to achieve early retirement, they talk about building a corpus by, I mean, spending very less. So people talk about saving about 70% of what they are earning. And if that is exactly what they want to do, their early phase of life is going to be very frugal. Okay, so now it is not a question of only one person. The entire family has to be aligned with this particular thought process, and the entire family has to live a very frugal life. So is that something that you can convince as far as your family is concerned? I don't know, and I don't know whether it is really required, because after 40 or 45, uh, in what way is your life going to bloom? That is something for you to figure out. And if you don't have any clear cut answer, if you are going to say, I want to live a life where money does not any long matter, so I mean, that is not a clear answer. uh, yeah. Non-financial aspects is also something that we need to consider, because one of the aspects which is very important is money. Yeah, we require money. That there is no question on that. But the fundamental thing which we need to understand is, there is a lot of time. What will you do with your time? So this is the primary thing. So the irony of life is that when we are actually in the earlier stages of life, we don't have too much time. We have money because we are earning. In the later phases of life, we have a lot of time. We have a lot of time. We have money. So I think I'm not getting it right. I'm so sorry. How will you occupy yourself? if one has not figured this, retirement is going to be one long boring holiday with nothing much to do. That is, if you have not figured what you will do with your time in retirement, it is going to be super boring. So what is that you want to do? A lot of people say that they will read newspapers, they will go on a walk, they will meet their friends and things like that. All these things are absolutely fine, but that cannot occupy 24 hours a day, right? So you will have to have something which can really grip you. It can be a hobby, it can be a combination of multiple hobbies, it can be something which you find meaningful. A lot of people spend their time on socially productive work. They immerse themselves on, say, maybe teaching and education and these kind of things, which is again socially useful. Some people get into religion and spirituality. So it can be different things for different people. So we will have to really figure out what is that we really want to do in life in retirement, so that the retirement phase is also meaningful, because we are talking about 25 to 40 years in retirement. Investing for retirement. So this is a very important thing. As far as retirement is concerned, it's a long-term goal. When we talk about a long-term goal, equity is one of the assets which we normally suggest. So investing in equity is a great idea, because in the long term, typically equity performs extremely well. Apart from that, there are certain investment vehicles which have been tailored for, let us say, the retirement phase. One is employee provident fund for those who are in service. A certain amount is contributed by the employee and a certain amount is contributed by the employer. And over a long period of time, it accumulates to a huge corpus. So it's very helpful in retirement. For those who want to contribute over and above that, for those in service who want to contribute over and above that, and those who are not in regular employment, for PPF is definitely a great vehicle. National pension system is another wonderful vehicle for accumulating a corpus for the retirement years and getting an annuity. Pension products are otherwise available from various insurance companies, and one can actually look at multiple pension products if one wants to get an annuity. So these are some of the products which are readily tailored probably for the retirement phase, but these cannot be the only vehicles, or these need not be the only vehicles. There can be various other products, like all your mutual funds and fixed income products, or PMS, or real estate and things like that. It can also be, see, ultimately what you require is a good wealth accumulation, and which can be used for the retirement phase. So the other vehicles also are something that we can use. I talked about real estate. It can be gold, silver, other commodities. If at all you are interested, you can do that also from the retirement funding point of view, retirement investment point of view. Can we run the next poll, please?
Yes, sir, doing. Yes, sir, done. Yes, so I'm sharing the results.
Yep.
Yes, done.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We talked about real estate, and a lot of people do want to have real estate. In fact, we know of many clients who have multiple real estates, and they say it will give a stable rental income. But rental income is not the best source in retirement for multiple reasons. First and foremost, if you look at Indian context, the yield in terms of residential properties maybe 3 to 4% at best. Okay, that is the raw yield. Okay, the gross yield. On that, we will have to pay property tax. We will have to pay any other municipal taxes and society charges, and on top of that, whatever amount is coming up, it'll be added to the income. So income tax will also be there. So suffice to say that the actual yield from a property will be much less than probably 2.5%. I mean, it will be less than 2.5% at a net level. So this is not a great thing. Secondly, there can be periods of non-occupancy. Unlike in the case of an FD, once you invest for an FD, invest an FD for 3 years or 5 years, you are going to get for every single day your money is invested. That cannot be said about rental income. So suppose after 2 years, the tenant is vacating and you're not able to get another tenant for, let us say, 6 months, that income is gone. Your expenses are there, but the income is gone. So periods of non-occupancy is a reality as far as rental incomes are concerned, rents are concerned. So that is something that we'll have to keep in mind. And a person in the retirement phase may be looking at a peaceful retirement. Okay, for that kind of a person, retirement will not be peaceful if you have multiple homes, because there'll be a tenant. Sometimes there'll be legal problems. If even assuming there is no legal problem, the tenant will vacate. There'll be repairs, and one will have to really spend money on that. First is money, and there are hassles in terms of actually repossessing the property, doing all the repairs, and then ensuring that the property can be re-rented. So there are hassles around having a property. Okay, so financial assets are much better in that at any point in time, you can easily liquidate that. You are assured of certain return, especially in a fixed income asset, you are assured of return. In other assets also, whatever is the return that particular asset is going to give you, I mean, as it goes along, like in the case of a mutual fund, whatever is the return that particular asset can give you, that you will get. You don't have, there is no management required in the case of a financial asset. So net, I would say that rental income is not something that one should really consider as an income source in retirement if one is really looking at peace of mind. And this can create multiple complexities as far as succession is concerned. Very easy to do succession as far as financial assets are concerned. In the case of property, there are complexities. I'll tell you the very basic, simple case. One of the cases is, suppose there is one house, and let us say there is a son and a daughter, and the parent is leaving 50% to the son and 50% to the daughter. Now the daughter wants to keep the house for emotional reasons and other reasons. Son wants to sell because he has other goals. Now, if the son is not able to sell, I mean, daughter is not having the money to buy the son off in that property at the price at which he wants to sell, then we have a problem. So these kind of complexities do come, and sometimes what happens is the parents give one house to one person, another house to another person. Maybe at the time that they have created the will, both the properties were of similar value. But over a period of say 10 years, 15 years, the property values are different, and that creates a friction. So different kinds of problems also come here. And again, in the case of a property, you know how it is, right? I mean, there are papers, and sometimes the papers are not really proper. Liquidating a property and realizing that value and all that is also complex. So suffice to say that property is not one of the easiest assets to manage. And if somebody in the retirement phase wants to ensure that money goes to their children without hassles, or the with least amount of hassles, then they should be light on property. I'm not saying they should not have property. If they are living in a property, obviously that property will have to be handled at a later time by the children. But if they don't want to create hassles, least amount of properties is what I would advocate. Now, succession planning is one of the most important things in retirement. A lot of people do not want to really think about this. This is a psychological aspect. When we talk about wills and things like that, they say, don't you think it is very early for me to do the retirement? I'm only 53, I'm only 55. Can I not do that much later? Even people who are 60, they'll say, ठीक है, वो करेंगे, बाद में करेंगे. I've already done nomination. But that is not the point. See, nomination, if you do, um, I mean, the nominee is only going to be a custodian. The nominee cannot really take the money, even assuming the nomination is in their name. So if somebody wants to ensure that the proper beneficiaries get whatever they have in the proportion that they have in mind, it has to be really conveyed through something like a will. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And a lot of times when there are no wills, there is lot of bickering which happens among the siblings and other people. Uh, so I would say will is one of the easiest way to ensure that there is no bickering in the family. So that is also another aspect of it. Of course, it will very clearly delineate what will go to whom. So that portion is very clear. If it is possible, the senior person should ideally talk properly, especially if the distribution is going to be more for somebody, less for somebody, for whatever reason. It is better that it is very clearly conveyed so that there is no challenge to the will. So this is something as a practical aspect I'm really talking about. A lot of people tend to think that will is very complex and I will have to go to a lawyer and things like that. Now, of course, will you can go to a lawyer, you can get the will done, you can get it registered. All those things are possible. But will is a very simple document. If in any language you can actually put down what is that you really want, what is your intention. You just have to state the intention in your own words unambiguously. So that is the only thing that is required. Two witnesses are required, and if you are going to write it down or if you're going to type it out and if you are going to have two witnesses, that is actually good enough. So this is again part and parcel, if you ask me, of retirement planning. This is something again which is typically ignored. Again, people don't want to talk about death. It is not like if you prepare a will, somebody will pass away tomorrow. So will is a document which can actually come into the picture after 10 years, 15 years. One of the other things which people say is, see, I don't know what will be there going forward in the future. I'm not very sure. So how can I make a will without knowing what I will be having, let us say 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line? How will I document it? The will has to be created in such a manner, it is going to be all encompassing. When we create a will, especially taking into account financial asset, we don't say mutual funds will go to the daughter or FDs will go to the son, because that, of course, obviously can change over a period of time. So what we normally say in these kind of situations is that we say the financial asset will be divided in the proportion of, let us say, 50-50 towards the son and daughter. And typically in the case of wills, what we do is we suggest the corpus to first go to the spouse, and after the spouse only it should go, after the lifetime of both the husband and wife only it should go to the children. So that is what we normally suggest. So wills can be created in such a manner that irrespective of what is the underlying asset, it can pass on to the next of kin. So it can properly be created. So you can take professional help if it is necessary. But will is a document which one should do. Trusts are useful in some specific cases, so you will have to really talk to a professional to understand whether will or trust is useful, which of them is useful in your particular case. Yeah. I want to show you some charts, a few charts to illustrate why we are talking about starting very early. I talked about starting very early for retirement. In fact, it is true for virtually everything. So if you are starting I'm giving you a situation where somebody is investing 10,000 rupees for 15 years and then they are just leaving it till 60 years. So suppose the person is starting at, let us say, 25 years, okay, and investing 10,000 rupees for the next 15 years, meaning they are going to invest for up to their age of 40 years. So they are investing something like 45,000 and odd. I mean, it will accumulate to 45,000 and odd. Oh, sorry, 45 lakhs and odd at 11%, right? So now, if they leave that corpus as it is after 40, they are not going to put in a single rupee. The compounding will ensure that they will reach 3.66 crores. I mean, graphically, you can see that here. Just see the green bar. So if you start at 25 and put in 10,000 for 15 years, you will be reaching 3.67 crores. If you are starting at 35, that is 10 years down the line, but you are again investing for 15 years, the same 10,000, you will be reaching a figure which is one third of this, almost one third of this, which is 1.29 crores. And if you are starting at 45 and investing the same 10,000 for the next 15 years, you will be just at 45 lakhs. See the stark difference between these three figures. So starting early does make a difference. Another scenario, in this scenario, we have a situation where somebody is putting a lump sum. So this happens, let us say, with a lot of grandparents. When a child is born, they give a certain amount for the benefit of the grandchild. So let us take a scenario like that. So suppose a 1 lakh amount is put for the child. After 10 years, it becomes 3 lakhs, assuming 11% return. After 20 years, it becomes 7 times, which is 7 lakhs. And this is eye-popping. That is, after 30 years, it becomes an eye-popping 21 times, 21 lakhs. So the compounding definitely works. Now, another scenario, this is a constant SIP. I talked about a situation where somebody is investing only for 15 years, 10,000 rupees for 15 years. Here I am talking about a situation where somebody is investing continuously for 10, 15 or 20 years, the same 10,000 rupees every month. So if we do that, assuming again 11% return, uh, at 11%, they are going to go to something like 2.8 crores, only 10,000 rupees. So today, if you look at it, 10,000 rupees per month investment is not such a large number for a lot of people, right? And just the 10,000 rupees, if it were invested for 30 years, assuming a 11% return, is going to amount to something like 2.8 crores. There is nothing wrong with a lot of people have said that, I mean, are these figures right? I mean, we have checked it several times. The figures are right. There is nothing wrong with that. It can actually go to eye-popping numbers. Last chart here, I mean, here we are starting with 10,000, but we are stepping this up every year. So the first year is 10,000, next year is 15,000, the year after that is 20,000, and so on. This is probably what will happen in most people's cases, because the incomes are going up, right? So you need not have to necessarily invest the same amount throughout life, and most of the people increase their monthly investments as they go along. So assuming that this is exactly what is going to happen, the amounts we are talking about is humongous. Okay, so the first scenario is in 10 years you are going to reach only 51 lakhs, sorry, 61 lakhs. In 20 years, you are going to reach something like 3.5 crores, which is a substantial number. But compared to 13.29 crores, that is, we are starting with 10,000, increasing every year by 5,000. So in the 30th year, if you were to look at this, in the 30th year, they will be contributing 1.55 lakhs, because over a period of time, it has increased by 5,000. So huge amount, even assuming a 7% return also, one will be reaching something like 7.11 crore. So it's huge. So the point is, starting early is the only way by which you can actually protect your future. There is just no other. There is just no other way of actually ensuring that you can attain a good retirement corpus. So we need to look at retirement seriously. Let us summarize this. It's a phase change. We need to be prepared for it, not just financially. We need to prepare for what we are going to do as far as our time is concerned. Proper planning and understanding what we would encounter as much as possible is that is planning. So that is what we need to really do. We have to be prepared money wise and what we are going to do as far as our time is concerned. So what I missed out earlier was, as we in the earning year, there are so many things we have um, we have less money. Sorry, again, I think I'll leave this. Most people do not accord the priority that retirement deserves, and they spend money on multiple other things, uh, which are again important, like children's education or home or any other thing is something really important. But retirement also deserves great amount of importance, which currently is not accorded to it. Investments have to start early. I think I've shown the charts. I think that very graphically illustrates that we need to start early. Only then we will be able to accumulate the corpus. And the most important thing, as far as retirement is concerned, you should not touch the corpus. So that is very important, because if you are putting in money and then you are taking out the money, I mean, the objective is not achieved. Succession planning is a very important aspect. A lot of times people don't pay attention to it. and that causes problem and discord after their lifetime. So wealth transition is a very, very important portion, which also comes as a part of retirement planning, and we need to really pay attention to it. So now that brings me to the end of this session. I have written a book called If God Was Your Financial Planner. It's about financial planning, life planning, personal finances, and all that. It is written in a story format, easy to understand, easy to read. And God comes throughout life and talks about the uh, connection between life and money. So elucidate the life philosophy itself. I mean, you can actually go through this. If at all you want to follow us somewhere, you can do that. You will get a lot of information. You can join our community, our channel. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So are there any, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to.
Yes,
that.
now I request attendees to ask their questions. There are few questions, sir, in
Yeah,
Q&A.
yeah.
I think you can answer those.
Yeah. Dilip is asking a copy of the PPT. I don't know if it is available, you can give. Otherwise, NISM normally puts this up on their YouTube channel. You can go there and you will be able to see that. I don't know. Dhananjay is asking then what is the best alternative? I don't know in what context he's asking. If you can clarify that, I can answer that. Dr. Manavalan is saying, one second now. Amazing presentations are made in the national webinar and proper financial planning investing, really useful and highly productive, and the resource host is well competent. So I think Dr. Manavalan is happy with what you people are doing at NASM. Thank you, Dr. Manavalan. Nice book. Anupam is saying, nice book, I bought it. Thank you so much for buying the book and reading it. Thank you so much. How to write the succession planning document? Can we write on our own, or I need a lawyer? Like I mentioned, Vijay, I mean, it's very much possible for you to write your own will. There should be clarity in terms of what you want to do, more than anything else. I mean, it need not be in legal language. There has to be clarity in terms of what is to be passed on, in how much, and who are the beneficiaries. That's all. And two witnesses are required. So if you are going to do that, and if you are going to keep that in a locker or somewhere, that's fine. I would suggest that probably you can also take a doctor's certificate so that somebody cannot dispute that at a later point in time, especially if you feel that it can be disputed. That you are a person, when you are making the will, you are a person of sane mind. Okay, so it's better to take that also. Can you highlight about trust for succession planning? Uma Mahesh is asking. See, in certain situations, trust may be required, especially in situations where there is a special child or somebody who really cannot manage their financial affairs on their own. There are people who feel that even their spouses cannot manage their financial matters because their assets are vast. So in those kind of situations, trust is an ideal thing. In another situation, trust is very, very important, where when you in the case of a will, when you pass on the asset to maybe your son or daughter, after that they can do whatever they want. But suppose you want to truly control the usage of the money after your lifetime, the only way you can do is actually through a trust. The other situation is, suppose you want to ring fence certain assets from debtors or from income tax and things like that. The people use it from that point of view also. And there are other businesses who have put the whole business itself into a trust because they don't trust the second generation. They feel they are not serious enough, so they give the business itself in professional hands who will be running that, and the other next generation will be very handsomely provided for through the trust. So there are multiple reasons why a trust can be formed, but be aware that trust is not the first thing that anyone should be looking at. Will is something that everybody should have. In our experience, say 1 to 2% of the clients only we suggest trust, because it becomes a separate entity, and I mean it will be tax paying separate entity. It has to be audited, and formation of the trust and things like that also, yeah, are going to be complex, and it will be time consuming, and at the same time it will involve a lot of money. So unless you have a few crores, trust is not the most ideal uh, tool. How to get a job in NISM? I mean, this is something Vedant, NISM people have to answer. I'm here there, so I cannot answer this particular thing. Nikhil asking if I have 3 CR funds at the time of that is 3 crore funds at the time of retirement, then how much should be in FD and equity for normal lifestyle? Very difficult to answer, Nikhil. I mean, see, a lot of things depend. If you have gone through the presentation, lot of things actually depend on your expenses and goals in the retirement phase. So that is going to be very different for different people. So unless I have information about your lifestyle, and it also depends on how many years into retirement, the survival period, and what are the dependencies in the retirement phase, and are there any residual goals which normally gets completed in the pre-retirement phase, like children's education, marriage, vagera. So lot of things are there, difficult to say, but I would only broadly say this: normally we don't suggest beyond 40% in equity, because capital protection is very, very important, one of the most important objectives in retirement. So normally we don't suggest anything beyond 40% in equity or growth oriented assets. You should, I mean, so you should ideally consult somebody who understands your particular situation and then can advise you. Somebody has said, if a person is retiring early at 53 and has accumulated 5 crores, is it enough corpus? So probably yes, but it all depends on what is the expense, what are the goals. I mean, the answer which I've given earlier um, is the same thing. Example of a draft template, probably you're talking about maybe wills. This template you will get abundant number of templates you will get in on the net. So that is not a problem. Like I said, more than the template, your intentions should be very, very crystal clear, and the will document should not be ambiguous. So that is what is most important. Sunil is asking, is it okay if we take a maximum exposure to equity after having required corpus for basic expenses? Yes and no, because when what we say as basic expenses can also shoot up in between. I mean, we have seen that happening. Suddenly a goal comes, suddenly what is seen as basic expenses, it expands to a much bigger figure. There are contingencies which suddenly come up and things like that. So we will have to have some other amount which can take care of expenses when the expenses or goals or contingencies come up. So we have to be careful in the way we are going to plan. We just cannot invest everything in equity beyond the basic expenses, beyond setting up the basic expenses. Um, Sridharan has said, season has to explain about retirement plan clearly. Thanks. I don't know what is this season. Session. I think you has to say. See, the point is, Sridharan, we are having about 40 minutes, so I have touched upon this whole thing. Um, Retirement planning, if I have to really do a proper job in terms of this thing, it will be a 1 day session. Dhananjay, best alternative to fixed asset. I mean, fixed asset is something that cannot be wished away. I would not say best, that should be, we should consider best alternative to fixed asset. Fixed asset has to be a part of the portfolio. How much is something that we can actually debate. Uh, Thank you for the presentation. This is Rajesh. Analogy. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right. I mean, um, I was actually talking about this only: time, money, and energy. I mean, it did not come out properly. Thank you for pointing this out. In youth, we will have time and energy, not money. You are right. In adulthood, we have time and money, not energy. This does not come out correct. You are right. Anonymous attendee is executor is mandatory required for the will? No, executor is not mandatory. Um, Normally what happens is you make the beneficiary itself as the executor to ensure that the wills get executed, right? So that is the most important thing. So if the beneficiary is the executor, they have every incentive to execute that particular will. Some sample document template to write the succession document for reference. I mean, I told you, I mean, it's available in plenty. You can just download from the internet. It's available in plenty. How to protect generational wealth from destroying other kids are not that serious. So if you are worried about this particular aspect, Vijay, Trust is one of the things that you can probably consider. Anonymous attendee is saying accumulate huge corpus to cover expenses only from interest earning to live retirement. I think balance utilized from interest and principal both to enjoy pre-retirement instead of more savings. So it's an observation. I will leave it at that. That is Uma Mahi is saying if you want to read about the rules of the trust related laws, again, see, boss, internet is the encyclopedia today. If you want to go to specific sites and things like that, you can go to the specific government sites. But otherwise, if you want to know broadly about trust and things like that, you just search on the net and you will get enough information. Uh, yeah, Vedant is asking about a job at our firm. Boss, we will handle this separately. You will have to apply to us. Then somebody is saying, I'm 50 and I have been struggling. My goal is to work till end of my life, starting from scratch. Do not have any retirement investments. Yeah, I mean, there is nothing like something is not possible. I mean, there are people who have started late in life. Some people have started early in life and lost their way. I mean, everything is absolutely possible. So, I mean, don't give up hope. Obviously, you will have to latch on to something interesting, something that is remunerative, and you will have to stick with that. Kiran is saying that his corpus of more than 5 crores enough with expenses today as of 7 lakhs per annum with no liability or goals. Yeah, I mean, I think the answer to this is, I think, yes. So because your expenses are in control and no liabilities or goals, so I think that is very much possible. Tarun Kumar Gadicharla, what is the future of food and agri sectors in India? Difficult to say, boss. I mean, I don't want to answer this particular thing. Harsh Modi, I am 50. I have been struggling. My goal is to work till the end of my life, starting from scratch. So this answer I have already given. Ramasubramaniam, reference was made about some community. Can we get the link? Yeah, the links are there. If you were to go to the end of the presentation, all the links will be there in that. Tanmay Mule, how to get clarity of the goals at the age of 22, just started earning. Very, very appropriate question, Tanmay. At 22, there may not be clarity regarding the goals. Today's topic is about retirement. Be assured that that is definitely one of the goals for which you have to plan. So that one goal is definitely going to be there. And for most people, Indians particularly, house is going to be a goal. If you are having any plans of marrying, so you will have to provide for another person and probably for expanding the family, children, and all that, and for their education and their future. So you can, even if you assuming you are not really very clear about the goals, you can start investing after assuming what potential goals can be there. Definitely retirement is one of the goals. You can at least plan for that goal. Vivek is saying, thank you so much for the episode. Thank you very much, Vivek. Thanks a lot. I read one article for buying asset, borrowing, and a concept. Is it a good idea for rich people? I have not understood this. I'm sorry. Thanks for the wonderful session. Thank you very much. Is there any book recommendation on retirement planning? There are multiple books on retirement planning. You can look at it. So the point is now, for everything in life, there is a book. Okay. So you cannot really hope to buy all the books and I mean, read all the books and become an expert there. My suggestion, as far as these things are concerned, I mean, get enough information, enough to make a will. If this is not an area of your interest, find out somebody who can actually make a will for you. Don't get into this reading on everything. Like, for example, suppose I have a problem, I cannot source all the medical journals and read and try to treat it on my own. To some extent, I can. To some extent, I can go to the various WebMD or various other sites and get a passing understanding of that subject. I would suggest you should access professional help if you are really serious about financial planning. Sorry, succession planning. Thank you, Alok, for your appreciation. Thank you so much. Can the beneficiary be an executor? Yes, I have said yes. It is in fact recommended that the beneficiary should be an executor because there is, I mean, they will definitely ensure that the will is executed because they are going to be a beneficiary. Thanks for all the session. Thank you very much. Is investing in PPF and life insurance best option for retirement plan? Investing in PPF is one of the options which you can definitely consider. It is going to give a 8% plus kind of a return. It has always been giving 8%. In the past, it has given much higher returns. Uh, it's a government scheme intended for people who want to, over a long period of time, they want to uh, put in money and accumulate a corpus. Life insurance is something that you will have to look at. Uh, I mean, case by case. So, what kind of life insurance that you want? Typically, we look at a term insurance for most people. That is, if there is a if there is a premature death, the family should not suffer. Their goals have to be still met. Term insurance is a great option from that point of view. Other life insurance products have to be looked at appropriately, whether they are appropriate in your situation. Like, for example, I will not say endowment product is completely bogus. Like a lot of people say that, but for a lot of people, if they don't go for an insurance, they won't save that money and they will be spending that off. So for some people, having who are finding it difficult to have discipline as far as their investments are concerned, life insurance at least gives some 5.5-6% return, and that is tax free today. Not bad from that point of view. So everything is contextual, so we cannot really say it's good or bad. Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for the appreciation. Harsh is saying your sessions are filled with wisdom, hope, compassion, infinite gratitude. Thank you, Harsh. Thanks for your kind words. Not term other insurance. Dr. Jayprakash, I had mentioned that it is contextual. You will have to evaluate. You will have to see what is useful from your point of view. I think this is the last question. Vijay Gupta is asking, as private equity are buying big hospitals and hospitals have lost ethics and they are charging anything with the help of insurance company, is it a good idea to create separate health fund for illness? See, what is reported in the paper or what you are seeing on X are the fraud cases. I mean, there are a whole lot of cases where people are actually getting, getting whatever they are spending in the hospital. Lot of cases, there are a lot of positive stories which don't get reported in the media. So media is basically for that purpose. They have to report what is abnormal. Okay, so don't get completely carried away by that. Okay, let us not be entirely cynical. So let us have a proper insurance policy. Let us also have a health fund as far as our illness are concerned. Today, you can get a health insurance policy at a very low cost. You can have a basic health insurance policy and you can have a super top up. So this combination is a great combination. So even for a 50 lakh kind of a cover in tens of thousands, you will be able to cover your family for some like 50 lakhs. Of course, everything is contextual in terms of how many people are there in the family, what are the ages of those people, and so on and so forth. So I would just say that the world is a mixed place. There are good, bad, ugly. That is there. But let us have a proper hospital cover. That is the medical insurance, and then let us have a health fund by the side. That's what I would suggest. So I think we are out of time. Thank you very much. I've answered whatever I can. Thank you so much again. This we are coming to the end of this particular session or this particular series. Thank you so much, NISM, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you, Mr. Kunj Bansal. Thank you, Mrs. Rasmeet. Thank you so much, and all the other people. Thank you so much, and thanks for all you in the audience who have been very patient and you have attended all the session. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry. We have Kun sir with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thanks, Suresh. Thanks for doing this series. I'm sure it would have benefited all the participants, especially hopefully those who attended all the sessions.
Yeah.
And we do plan to continue some more series, so we will be in touch with you. Thank
Sure.
you, audience, for participating actively. Over to you, Sahil.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Kun sir, and also thank
Thank
you to
you.
Suresh sir as well for taking this month series. Also, I would like to tell attendees to join us for the next month series as well. I have shared the link for the registration, that is the upcoming episode or webinar link in Q&A in chat section. Sorry. So yes, request you to all to join in and register for the next steps webinars. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I request IT team to close